What's happening, America? I'm YAHEZEQUIEL Walker. Thank you for tuning in to the real time. We have a lot to discuss today, so let's just go ahead and get us rolling. Why is Cincinnati so trash? Now, when I say that, I don't mean all the people. Maybe some of them, but not all of them. Specifically, I'm talking about the 3.5 million tons of detritus collected by Rumpke in the greater Cincinnati area last year. This is an astounding number compared to the 2.1 million tons collected in 2014, just about 10 years ago. My question is, where is all this coming from? Cincinnati's population is actually technically decreased significantly. In 2014, our population sat around 300,000. The 2021 census has shown us we've only gained around 10,000 people in 10 years almost. So how is that small amount of people creating this much more trash? I'm thinking that. I'm sure at home you're thinking that. That don't make no sense. The maths ain't mathing. So maybe, just maybe, it could be because Cincinnati has led industrial growth over the past 5 years. And actually, we are on pace to be one of the largest industrial powerhouses in all of America. And we are actually set to increase our 46,000 industrial workforce by 6.4% by 2030. That's crazy. So to make the everything add up and make sense, most of the trash is coming from the debris. Most of the detritus is coming from all of this industrial work. When they're breaking everything down, where does all the trash go? Goes in the fucking dump. So more industrial work, more trash. It's not more people, more trash. It's more industrial work, more trash. It's fucking crazy. Where's all that new garbage going to go? Lucky for us, Rumpke has recently been giving permission to expand their landfills. That's right, expand. As if Cincinnatians didn't have enough reason to never step outside. If the brewery air didn't get you, then the trash definitely is gonna get you. So now that we may be asking ourselves, truly, what can I do to help? That's a very, very reasonable question to ask yourself, because this is something that everybody actually can contribute to, in theory, actually, before 2020. Because the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, a government agency, an agency in which we, the people, pay our tax dollars to. Guess what they did, y'all? They removed a air pollution nuisance rule. So basically what that does is any person that tries to sue a corporation who they believe is polluting the water, the air, or the land can no longer press any type of charges. And those corporations are completely scot-free. Yeah, the EPA, they allowed that. The Environmental Protection Agency, in charge of protecting the environment, gave corporations the ability to say fuck the environment. Now, if anyone is familiar, Cincinnati is one of the most corrupt cities in FBI investigation history. Side note, they investigated the FC Cincinnati stadium building, and they found the building of that stadium to be quite illegal. In their findings and research, they also found that it wasn't just this sector. It is branched throughout the entire city and how we run and operate. So when you think of how these two possibly could tie together, it's almost like the EPA is somehow benefiting from corporations shitting on the environment. And guess what that does? That shits on us, the fucking people, who we are paying tax dollars for them to protect us as that agency. It don't make no sense. So, I guess we aren't surprised that the EPA are the ones that approve those permits for them, as we know. Not know, I don't want to say no, as we speculate, they might have benefits to a progressively shittier environment. They also, after expanding their landfills, we believe that they have consciously made an effort to thwart any information by people like you and me having readily access to this. There is a group called Ditch the Dump, and they are a major focus in talking about all the damages done by corporations against the environment and just making them more well known. What's crazy about this, if you were to Google anything about landfill expansions, you'd actually have to go through a paywall, or you would find that it's been deactivated. Why would it be deactivated, or why would it be behind a paywall? For the people to know that the landfill is being expanded. That means that probably people might have to move and some homes would be lost. So that's going to affect some people, right? Why and where is all this trash coming from for us to even need to expand this landfill? And most people, especially in Cincinnati recently, who know how the income has stayed the same, if not got worse, while rent has increased by 3 to 5 times in the past 4 years, could afford to just pay for articles. That's not a reality. It's almost like it's a class war, and only people who have the certain amount of money already to live in places with less environmental impact have the only access to this information, and the people stuck in these environmental shitholes don't have the goddamn money to go and buy these articles because, I don't know, they need food, water, clean air. Fucked up. Can't breathe. I can't breathe. Man, I'm just trying to breathe. But those of us in Cincinnati, Ohio, know that this shit got me choked the fuck up. And air quality is an issue around the world, but those of us specifically born and raised in a Midwestern city that was in its prime during the Industrial Revolution has gotten rid of most, if not all, of its regulations that protect our precious air and water. The crazy shit about timing is that it's crazy. And the EPA just so happened to take a step back on a lot of regulations just in time for the derailment of the train in Palestine, Ohio. On February 23rd, a train holding hazardous materials derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. Officials then proceeded to evacuate all of the citizens, and they gathered all of the materials and burned them off. When they did the controlled burn, is what they called it, it produced hydrochloric acid, which went up into the atmosphere, went into the clouds, and rained back onto the land as acid freaking rain. Wow. No Chance the Rapper. So, residents then were told to come back 20 days later after this incident, and then 43,000 animal species across the area died. That's actually a devastating hit to the entire environment of Ohio, because the stability of the fish is how we actually test our water. We test our water through not just how many fish, but we go and take a fish and then break it apart and test out, oh, does it have heavy metals in it? Does it have PFAS in it? What's in it? Because then that is a true gauge of what is passing through your waterways. So if the fish, because 27,000 minnows were in that 43,000, if the fish aren't there to tell us about the water quality, what's going to happen when I drink that water? What's going to happen when that water hits my skin when I'm showering? You know how we all talk about specifically like abortion issues and what about the kids and, class shootings? What about the water you're using for the baby formula? In the most precious developmental ages, what's in the water that's being used to feed your babies? Citizens all over Ohio rushed to their local Kroger to stock up on clean water, and those shelves 3 months later still remain bare. These are legitimate fears, coming from the population. Hoard all the water. Get all, stock up on water. I truly believe in that. Everybody should have a stockpile of water on deck just for a rainy day. But what if the water that you believe was clean happens to be contaminated? What if Kroger, their own bottled water, is bottled at the local Krogers? And what if those local Krogers also have the water facilities to bottle water for other companies? So, any water that was bottled in the East Palestine area around that time was then going to the shelves. Even now, that water that is in that area is being used by Kroger to be put in those bottles. So now you think, oh, it's bottled water. It's cleaner. It's better. No, it's not cleaner. It's not better. Whoa, it's the same water out the fucking faucet. But they just put it in this bottle, so now you think you're getting some kind of cleansing deal. It's all optics, just to make you spend some money, and you can just turn on that faucet. That's fucking crazy. So, shit, lost myself. I wrapped that up though. I'm talking on purpose.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone? Oh, cool. Alrighty.
And then I've just got it rolling, so
yeah, perfect.
Go when you're ready.
A way that would be really beneficial to help the public and us all generally know what is actually going on with our water would be to check the creek beds and the sediment layers and levels. The testing as of now, they only test surface water area, or the surface water. That means the relation to that would be if you have gut intestinal, like some stomach problems, and then they just take a cotton swab of your cheek and they say, oh, you have this issue. Rather than telling you to go and take a shit so they can get a sample of your stool so they can see what's going on when it goes to the whole entire system and get a more accurate depiction of what's going on inside. So now we can actually have a plan of attack to see, oh, what can we do if there's a problem in this water, like hydrochloric acid or PFAS? Weird how we don't even have the data to even know what next steps to take because our tax dollars have gone to a corrupt EPA using that dollar for God knows who, but it's not cleaning our water. For instance, according to the EPA's website about East Palestine, Ohio's water quality, I quote, there is currently no indication of risk to East Palestine public water customers based on their surface water testing, and they're not even doing sediment and bed testing. Come on. We have no clue what's actually dangerous in the water that we're drinking right now. That should be scary. That should be getting people riled up. That you spending your money. That I know all of us in Ohio, we don't got much of it for real. We don't got it like that. So the tiny dollars we do, we're giving them to literal people to poison our fucking water. Come the fuck on. Hell nah. In addition to all these insane regulations being stripped by the EPA, Earth.org has placed the air pollution as the number one issue in all of America as it pertains to the environment. This isn't the kind of number we're used to seeing in America, you know, like our outstanding records with mass shootings, narcotics, or kind of like Cincinnati politics and the government fucking corruption. They found that in their study, almost 40% of Americans live in environmental dangerous cities. Cincinnati being one of those cities. You may ask yourself on a summer day, why am I getting all these notifications on my phone of air quality warnings? Why am I driving on the highway on 71 and 75 and it's telling me I got all these smog warnings and that I should not be outside until 8 o'clock at night or 9 when the sun goes down? That's because the majority of air pollution comes from the burning of fossil fuels. That and a combination of Cincinnati being a metropolis city, it's one of the largest active Pacific Union sites, and 75 is one of the most traveled highways for shipments and logistics. These are all a perfect, unique situation to produce really, really terrible air quality for us all. So we have a bunch of forest and green space in Cincinnati. It's known as the city of Seven Hills. We have allergens in the air, pollen, mold, dust, all this shit, right? What happens when we're breathing in all of these carcinogens, all of these fossil fuels? It is stripping our microbiome of all of the defenses that we need to prevent ourselves from having allergy attacks from mold, from pollen, from all of these things that we all just for some reason have crazy issues in Cincinnati. The old, hey, I got real bad allergies. You know how it is in Cincinnati. This is why. It's an accumulation of we live in a forest and we're breathing in air that strips us of protecting ourselves against forest air. Because forest air is supposed to be beneficial. But we're completely being ridden void of all of those benefits and only being fueled with carcinogens and PFAS and all this nonsense. This is something that everyone should be passionate and care about. I know I've gotten a little bit riled up. I'm coming down a little bit just because I want to get a little bit real with people for a second. I do be getting triggered. I be getting triggered over the apathy that motherfuckers be having. I be triggered that people don't be minding their business. And the air is our business, but why ain't you minding the business about the motherfucking air? Huh? Motherfuckers is crazy. We talk about money. Everybody, we are adults, and I'm talking to specifically my peers right now in the 30-year-old age group. We all are trying to get money, right? You're okay with literally paying people to poison your motherfucking air? We are the age to actually do something about that shit. To go to our legislators and say, I'm not motherfucking going with that shit. We are adults. And this shit is motherfucking dead. And we all need to get with it. And I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. And yes, I'm motherfucking triggered, and y'all need to be too. So, I had a moment to breathe. And I would just like to end the night on this note. The rights to take action were given to a generation that sat idly by and did nothing. Just exacerbated and made the situation extremely worse by either benefiting or watching. We can't be upset at it, honestly. I have to remove that animosity from my personal heart. Hopefully you all do as well. And all we can do is just be better elders and educate. Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Good night, man.